Hello everybody, this is JRChungus21. I'm doing another upload. This time it's not going to be over video games, Pokemon, or Yu-Gi-Oh! It's going to be over something I'm fairly interested in, which is anime. So, I thought I'd discuss, after watching several videos and discussions on Facebook, about tragic or... well, I guess tragic works. Tragic scenes from Full Metal Alchemist, both Brotherhood and normal FMA. So, I thought I'd discuss, in my opinion, the top five scenes or storylines from both the Brotherhood and the Full Metal Alchemist series that gave me the most emotions. So going from happy to sad to angry to straight up pissed. So let's get started with number 5, which is the one everyone talks about when they talk about tragedy. Now, this is a little bit of a disclaimer, so spoilers ahead if you haven't watched both series. There are some very dark points in it that they make me sick to even discuss, but that might just be me. So let's get started with number 5, Nina Tucker. Now, by what I can tell, Nina is a 4 or 5-year-old girl who lives with her father, Shao Tucker, the sewing life alchemist, and her dog, Alexander. Shao Tucker is a specialist in bioalchemy, and how he came to be certified as a state's alchemist in both series is he transmuted a talking chimera. In both series, it's heavily implied that he used his wife as an ingredient for this. The chimera then went and said only one thing, and it ended up getting its wish. It said, "I want to die." Now, it's sad that he did, if it is true that he did this to his wife, it's very sad and tragic. When it came time for him to be recertified in X amount of years, I can't remember directly how many years it is, he turned in very shitty, excuse the language, very shitty research notes. And they said, okay, this is your one time doing this. You're not doing this shit again. So it came time for him to be recertified again, and he was visited by, in Brotherhood, he was visited by one of Roy Mustang's soldiers, subordinates. I believe in the original FMA he was visited by Boss Gron, the Iron Blood Alchemist. So, he gets a visit, and he's told pretty much either turn in something valuable to the military or you're out. In the end result, he transmutes Nina and Alexander to create another talking chimera. And it's very sad and tragic. And in Brotherhood, it's fairly, Brotherhood tended to be a little bit more generous with its audience's feelings. So, Brotherhood, Nina was killed quickly and mercifully by Scar, and so was Shao Tucker. In the original FMA, they didn't really give a flying fuck. Nina was pretty much had her guts splattered all over a wall, and Shao Tucker didn't really get punished. He was turned into his own form of chimera and continued his alchemical experiments on Nina's soul. Which, at that point, when that was revealed, it made me violently sick to my stomach that this man was not being punished, because I had watched Brotherhood before the original FMA. So, that's number 5. Number 4 will be the storyline about Ed and Al's mother. To rapidly go through this, how Ed came to be able to transmute without a circle, and how Alphonse Elric managed to be stranded in a suit of armor, is they tried to bring their mother back to life. In Brotherhood, it ends there. They fail miserably, the transmutation rebounds, and they burn down their house, in their own words, to signify that they have nothing to come back to. Now, Ed and Al, in the original FMA, the 2003, I believe is what it is, quickly find out that the big difference between the two is homunculus and brotherhood are created through father. I'm not going to get into that right now, because that's more of the ending, if I can get to that in the time frame I have. Ed and Al find out that in the FMA, the 2003 form, that their mother took the form of a homunculus. And they then have to try to kill their own mother as a homunculus. She looks exactly like them, like their mother. It makes you go through all these emotions where it's tragic, it's sad, and everything else. Now, number 3 is going to be another tragic storyline, which is the Mace Hughes storyline. And both of them seem to follow, but in the original FMA, you got closer to Mace Hughes. He seemed to have more episodes for you to get attached to him, and it led to sadness, and it just really was tragic. I can't touch base on it that well. So that's the big difference to me, is you just seem to get to know Mace Hughes a lot better. Number 2 would be just what I said. This is going to be the one that makes me very uncomfortable talking about. In Brotherhood, the Lior insurrection is put down very quickly by Central's forces and Eastern forces together. And that's it. That's all you see. You see envy, gluttony, and lust celebrating. In the original FMA, it gets dark really quick. Ed returns to Lior to find Rose a mute. And when they go into the backstory of her, she was keeping children safe from the insurrection in an abandoned building, when several soldiers, including a general, Haruka, I believe is his name, who Ed had saved prior, in the beginning episode of the series, they, without a lack of a better term, without a more politically correct way or more polite way of saying, gang rape her, impregnating her, which causes her to go mute from the trauma. As you can see by my facial expression and how much I'm just trying to get through this, it very much is a hard episode for me to actually watch. Just as someone who plans to go into law enforcement in the future, I couldn't stand being a part of a team that investigates this kind of thing. It makes me sick to hear stories about this. So, this is the big one that I'm surprised so many people don't mention. I don't know if they push it out of their mind, or if they're like me, I can't even watch the episodes pertaining to this with the original Full Metal Alchemist. I really can't. I can't watch the episodes. It makes me sick. That, it's just dark. It's twisted. It's disgusting. And finally, we get to the final point, which is the ending to both series. In Brotherhood, you have a final clash with Ed and Father, who is shaped like von Hohenheim, his name in Brotherhood. In the end of Full Metal Alchemist, the 2003 form, Ed clashes with von Hohenheim, or Hohenheim of Light's prior wife, who gave birth to greed and envy, and particularly envy, who is technically Ed's stepbrother. She intends to sacrifice Rose's a very young child, who I alluded to in the prior point, and Ed sacrifices himself instead. The emotions you go through with this episode is very fulfilling and sad. So this has been another video Sorry for the rush. I'm at a 10-minute limit.